They say the best things in life are free, but free always comes with a catch. Will this free rat rod do insane burnouts, or will it be my most expensive mistake yet? We recovered about 7-ish gallons, not bad. We will get fuel, or we will get a huge shot fire. Welcome back to Conservation Garage. I am Ryan Parker, and this is a 1953 Chevy 3100. I had a neighbor who had 2 Chevy trucks parked in front of his yard, and with my car buying addiction, I had to go ask about them. I was only interested in the 1971 C20 that I bought, but it turns out it was a buy one, get one free. I thought I was paying $2,500 for the 71 C20, but it turned out it was for both trucks. So technically, I got that one for $2,500 and I got this one for free. Car guy math. With a little elbow grease, the C20 turned out awesome, but this, I haven't checked it out yet, but I was told that it has a homemade 4-link in the rear, leaky airbags, and I was told that the frame is really sketchy and unsafe to drive. Let's quickly check this thing out because I'm dying to crawl under it and see how botched this frame is. It looks like we have a fake patina, but the fake patina is so old that it looks like real patina. The door jambs are blue, someone painted it green and then black, and then either these are brush strokes or a wire brush. Someone was trying to give it kind of a rustic look. Starting here in the front, we can see this truck is missing an eye. And because it's missing an eye, my brother already named this truck Fury. So it's Fury now. Both mirrors are super mint. Someone did replace all the glass, or at least the back 3. Maybe the windshield, that looks like a new weather stripping. Mint. The tires or the airbags do not hold air. I'm pretty sure this is where you add air to the airbags. Rusty bed. We are missing rear fenders. One of the coolest parts of the truck is this keg gas tank. It holds almost 16 gallons. So that's the second coolest part of the truck. And the absolute coolest thing I've ever seen on a truck is this chain bumper. I was told it was a roller chain from either an oil drilling rig or a well drilling rig. It's a pretty beefy chain, and I gotta say that's pretty cool. Nice. So we do have some pretty nice seats in here. That wasn't the steering wheel I got it with. I stole that steering wheel to put it on the 71 Chevy. So I've just been using a wrench to steer it when I pushed it in here. I wonder if this is the metal they were using to fix the frame. Is that a football player? We got a shirt. Got some coolant hoses, some headlight parts. The interior is pretty basic. We got rust on the floors. Some pretty good rust. I do have to say, I do not like the look of the little tire without a fender, so 3 things have to happen. Either I get original fenders, or I put dualies on this thing, or a giant mud terrain or something, because I don't like the way it looks now. $350. The previous owner definitely put some effort in this build. He did tell me it was a 350 with an RV cam. I ran the numbers on the block. It looks like it's a 350 out of a 78-ish C20 or something. We got an aluminum radiator. Is that power steering down there? That's cool. I did steal the battery for the 71 as well. The brake angle is legit. I do know it needs a carburetor rebuild. The previous owner said he highly recommends it, and it's been sitting in my backyard for just over a year now, so definitely needs a carb rebuild. Frame time. Here we go. Right off the bat, we got a little electric pump. I'm digging the shutoff valve. I don't know why they put such large mufflers on this thing. These things are massive. Looks like we got a newish drive shaft. Chevy rear end-ish. There's our airbags. 4-link. Oh, there's not a lot of room under here. It isn't that botched. The welds look good. Solid angle iron. Looks like the frame was boxed at some point. So far, so solid. Looks like there was some frame shortening or something there. We do have a leaky transmission. Got a little bit of rust on the body. Some cool body mounts. I don't know what high expectations this guy had, but for my fabricating skills, this all looks pretty legit. It looks like the wiring needed to be finished. Maybe it went to the missing eye. So after looking it over, it looks like, ooh, let me get in here. This frame here looks like original 53 frame. This frame here looks to be maybe mid-70s Chevy truck, and they just grafted this frame into this frame. They boxed the 53 frame in, which is solid. It looks like they just took the motor, transmission, front suspension out of that 70s truck, just grafted it on, and you know, I think it looks pretty good. I think it's better than what I would have done. Then they took the front clip, they chopped the frame here, made the square tube bracket to hold the front on. We're just missing a bolt, but other than that, it looks pretty good. The guy led me to believe that this thing was dangerous and sketchy, but for me, this thing's mint. Probably the safest truck I've ever seen. So it looks like we got a 53 body and half a frame grafted onto a mid-70s drivetrain and rear end. So I'm going to leave it for now. I'm not even going to touch the welder. It looks safe enough. So we're going to move on to carburetor, steering wheel, see how bad those leaky airbags are, and go from there. And up she goes. I did not find any obvious leaks, so I'll just keep an eye on it and see how quickly it leaks out. Someone bought out the Edelbrock catalog. We got Edelbrock intake, valve covers, carburetor, everything's Edelbrock. It's a nice little workbench. I should have put the truck back on the ground for working on it. This thing's tall. Look at this handle, though. This thing is pretty gunked up. I think it's the right move to throw a rebuild kit at it. Hopefully I can do it right. It's a new day, but I got parts and I made a list. So cue the montage. It looks like this carburetor was dipped in maple syrup, but I'm going to toss it in the ultrasonic cleaner and I'm going to try this new cleaning solution. I'm sure it'll work. I'm still waiting on one more gasket for the spacer, but the carburetor is rebuilt. I'm terrible at rebuilding carburetors, but if it doesn't work, I'm gonna blame the $17 rebuild kit. I had to use the original floats because the floats that came with the kit, I submerged them and they were taking in fuel. On to the steering wheel. I have a steering column and a steering wheel out of that 71 Opel that's on a catamaran. And I'm hoping that works so I don't have to buy one. Wiring took way longer than expected. Where we at? On to the fuel system. Yeah. I think we're empty. I'm still waiting on my base gaskets for the carburetor. If those don't get here today, I'm gonna see if I got fuel up to the motor, check all the oils and fluids, and then I'm gonna work on some cosmetics. 5 gallons should be enough for testing purposes. Yeah. Whoops. I got the fuel hose going to the jug. I'm gonna turn the key on, see if I got fuel. No fuel. Definitely getting power to the pump. And I hear it making noises every now and again, so this looks like a little pre-filter. Maybe it's clogged. I'm almost certain it's clogged, so I'm gonna take that out and see what we're dealing with. I was gonna start taking this off. I took this hose clamp off, gave it a little wiggle, and I started hearing fuel. Turns out the hose is pissing out the side. I don't know how in the world that happened. I'm thinking vice grips here. Too bad it didn't leak after this valve. I also wonder if varnish is heavier than gasoline. If this tank had varnish in it, would it be a good idea to let it drain a little bit? Because I just put new fuel in it. I don't know. All right. Ooh, Back under here. It's starting to seem like vice grips are the answer. Holy crap. That is some crunchy hose. Ugh. Seems like vice grips are the answer to this whole build. That hose is so brittle, it just started cracking everywhere. So I quickly grabbed this jug, vice gripped it on there. I think I'm gonna stick a vacuum cleaner on the top to give me enough time to plug that hose, because it's draining pretty quick. Turns out I didn't have an attachment small enough to go into the gas tank, so I tossed my little chair under there. I'm just gonna drain the whole thing. There's only about 5 or 6 gallons in there, so this should only overflow for about a gallon, and I already got probably half a gallon on the ground, so it should fit. Well, it doesn't look that clogged. This stuff definitely reeks of varnish, especially when I was taking the carburetor apart. It was so bad that it was just burning my eyes. We recovered about 7-ish gallons, not bad. I got this makeshift fuel system taken out. Filter's good. It flows, this flows. Fuel pump. It tries to work every now and again, but it seems totaled. It's just my luck with fuel pumps lately. I got this fuel pump from Two-Face, which is another truck I had problems with. I put a mechanical fuel pump on there. The arm broke off, jumped into the engine, severed my timing chain, blew my motor. So fuel pumps is where it's at. If I remember correctly, this one worked kind of good. Good enough to do a burnout? Maybe. Are we working? That sounds a lot happier than that one. Alrighty. Looks like this one's gonna get tossed in for now. Maybe permanently, depending on how long it lasts. 4 PSI, made in Hong Kong. We'll see. I got new hose going to this super janky electric fuel pump I already had. New hose here. Wiring's a little tight. Eventually I'll have to redo all of this. Probably get a new pump, put a filter before it. I love how close the exhaust is to the fuel. If you get a leak here, get a little backfire. Be some pretty cool fireworks. I dig it. I'm gonna just do probably 2 gallons this time. So if I have any leaks, it will be easier to remedy. I should have probably got a funnel. I missed at least half of this. I definitely need a filter before that fuel pump. Oh well, let's do 2 gallons, why not? How high can we go? Fuel pump time. We will get fuel, or we will get a huge shot fire. I'm gonna turn the key on, see what we got. We got, oh my god, that's a huge fuel leak. Oh. Ow. All the hoses on this thing are junk. I should have anticipated that though. That's where it was leaking. Eeh, mint. That was the quickest fuel filter change I've ever done. Like 4 hours. Fluids. So far, no leaks. I checked the motor oil. It was low. Turbo 350 is overfilled. Power steering was empty. I haven't checked this rear end yet, but I knew it looked familiar. It's the same one that was in that 84 Monte Carlo. And when I went to take the fill plug out, it was an East Coast car, so it was completely seized. I had to weld a bolt to it, if I remember correctly, and take it out. But when I was down here, I noticed the 4-link is completely loose on both sides. The nuts are completely backed off. So I might have to go through and just do like a nut and bolt. Just check everything. It hasn't been ran that much because the sticker is still on the exhaust. That would have been burned off for sure. So hopefully I don't have to weld a bolt to this fill plug. It just comes out. I barely started to pry on it and it popped right loose. Do we got fluid? Maybe not. Empty. This thing is definitely going to need a tune-up. No question mark there. I checked all the fluids. I think the move is going to be fender and mud terrain. I do need to tie in 4-link, check all nuts. It seems like this project was just slapped together, so I should go through and make sure everything's torqued and everything. This list is getting depressing. Coolant reservoir. I'd spell out reservoir, but I don't want to spell it wrong in front of you guys. Spare fuel pump and filter. It's well after midnight, but I'm going to see if I can get some mud terrains mounted on it. This spacer I got fits, but the rust buildup on the center section takes up the clearance and it won't go on. I could probably hammer it on or drive it home with the lug nuts, but I would never get it off ever again. I might try and take some sandpaper and clean that up a bit. If not, we do have a lathe. I don't know how to work it, but I guess now's a good time to learn. Coming through with a mud terrain. I couldn't have these rinky-dink tires on here. They're date code 2015. These are way better. We got see 2001. I stole these from my Toyota. I'm gonna put the other one on, drop it to the ground, and see what it looks like. I might be sold. I always thought that the back of the truck looked a little too small with the small bed, the small wheels, and no fenders. And then it's a big cab with big fenders, big hood, so I didn't like how top heavy it looked. So this kind of balances out the weight distribution. Sorry, it's like 4 a.m. I can't even talk anymore. But see these tires? They're gonna chuck gravel right at that window. And someone did replace these nice little corner windows, so I gotta build a fender for it. I'm not gonna buy one. I looked online, even used, they're about $300 a piece, and that is way over budget for this truck. So I'm gonna try and come up with something. The bumper is still the coolest part of this whole truck. I think I'm gonna call it. I think tomorrow, fenders. Hopefully the gaskets come in. Toss the carb on. See if I can get it running tomorrow. It's a red racer. I am still waiting on carburetor spacer gaskets, so we are going to move on to fenders. Hopefully I can do them for free or cheap. That kind of looks like a fender. That also looks like a fender. Decisions. I think those corner windows are a little more saved now. Don't you love it when you think you can build fenders in 2 hours but end up taking almost 10 hours? But they're done. Too much of a cool thing is sometimes not a cool thing. I thought since the bumper was so cool with the chain, to carry the chain look into the fenders, I'm kind of on the fence about if it's cool or not. Let me know what you guys think. I think from certain angles it's really cool, and then from other angles it's not that cool. So, oh well. My carburetor gasket said deliver to the P.O. box today, so I can pick those up in the morning. I'm going to call it a night and do the carb tomorrow. I finally got my spacer gaskets, but before I went to the post office, I did tighten the 4-link. Where's my marker at? I tightened the 4-link. I did a nut and bolt check. For the coolant res, I used an old tequila bottle. I feel like it kind of matches the truck with the keg gas tank. I ordered 2 spare fuel pumps and 2 spare filters. Actually, I have 4 spare filters, 2 spare fuel pumps. So I'm set there. What else we got? Quick clean. I did take the trash and those big metal plates out of it, just so if I crash, I don't catch a metal plate to the face. Exhaust leak. I was going to patch some of the holes in the floors, but the floor is just too far gone. It looks like cheddar cheese, so I'm just going to leave it. Carbon monoxide poisoning is part of the game. Mirrors. I have a 5-window Chevy. When you have that many windows, you don't need mirrors. Lights. This truck is super illegal anyway, so if I drive at night, I don't need to be legal with lights either. Tune-up, still a question mark, maybe after I get it running. Brakes and brake pedal, that'll be after I get it running as well. For now, spacer gasket, carburetor, get it running. Before we get too carried away, this is probably temporary. I know I should bolt it to the inner fender because when the motor's running, it's going to vibrate loose, fall into the motor, shatter everywhere. This is just for now. I was originally going to put it in this missing headlight section. I thought that'd be cool, but if I or someone else ever wants to do a headlight, then that'd be kind of a pain to move. I am going to need some sort of choke mechanism. This one didn't have one. But before I steal the choke off my brother's carburetor, I'm going to try a mechanical choke. There was this choke in the truck. That one's not going to reach. There was an aftermarket one here. I took it out and I got it soaking in some Evapo rust. Let's see how it's doing. This thing was completely seized, so I'm thinking with the evaporust and maybe soak it in some penetrating oil, maybe I can get it back to life. It's active. That's a little better. Before it was completely seized and wouldn't even move at all. Mint. The steering is super loose. Look what happens when I turn this wheel. I'm not gonna worry about that now. That's a later project. I think we are ready. Key on, check for fuel leaks. Crank, see what happens. Fuel pump's running. Do we have an accelerator pump? Oh, I hear something. We got fuel in the bowls. Accelerator pump is working. I'm gonna crank it, see what happens. Wow, that thing is loud. Holy crap. You guys hear the backfires? This thing is so loud. I got it pushed outside, gonna start it again. My neighbors are going to love me. This thing is so loud. My ears are totaled. So I got 0 transmission fluid in it, idling somewhere around 1900 RPMs. When I cut it off, it dieseled for probably a good 30 seconds and spit a bunch of fluid everywhere. Other than that, it sounds very loud. This thing sure looks cool though. I'm going to top off the ATF, set the timing, adjust the carburetor, and go for a little test drive. It's time. Time for a test drive. I'm just gonna rip it around the desert for a little bit, hit the gas station because I don't know how much fuel I have, and then we see if it'll do a burnout. Here we go. Brakes are a little soft, but there's some brakes there. And we're off. My neighbors are gonna love me. It sounds like both front tires are rubbing on the fender. Huh. This thing is so violent. I'm about to hop on the on the highway, so I'm gonna toss on this random plate I have. So the front tires are 11 years old, the back tires are 26 years old. Every time I hit the smallest bump in the front, it just rubs the inner fenders. There's some pretty bad wear marks on the tires now. I don't have a lot of brakes. I don't have a seat belt. I don't have turn signals, brake lights, any lights. I think I have a misfire, but we're just gonna go for it. I just gotta hop on this highway for 2 miles to the gas station, fill up, do a burnout, and then it'll be a success. There's a car 4.5 miles back that way, so I'm gonna let them pass first. We're not overheating or the gauge is incorrect. I haven't lost my reservoir yet. The speedometer works, which is crazy. So I haven't gotten it out of first gear yet. I don't even know if we have gears. So we'll find out right now. Here we go. Thank you. Sexy old truck. Kind of sexy old fenders. Filled up. Got a drink. Now, all that's left is some burnouts, hopefully. I'm going to head over to an abandoned road and see what we got. And you guys see those gas prices? Holy moly. This ain't the most efficient truck to be driving right now. Moment of truth. Will it do burnouts? I added water to break those 33 by 12.5 inch mud terrains. But we'll see. I don't want to break them loose. I failed miserably at Burnouts yesterday. I basically had to limp it home after driving it around. It was misfiring like crazy. I looked into the misfire today and all the spark plugs were fouled. One of the spark plug wires was melted onto the exhaust manifold, so I had to replace that one. I cleaned up the spark plugs in the ultrasonic cleaner. They look like brand new. Tossed them back in and this thing has ran better than ever. So after all this work, hopefully burnouts now. Here we go. That is a crazy sunset for a crazy burnout. That might be the best sunset of the year. But mission accomplished for the old 53. I think that burnout was good enough for my liking. Thank you for watching and stay tuned because I have some big plans for this old Chevy. Make sure to put your seatbelt on.